that is maybe somebody already took one of those tests and they have really impressive scores. And so they want to impress us with how well they did on the test, because it is impressive. Those are difficult tests, and it does say a lot. And so if somebody maybe already has a GRE score or a GMAT score, they are welcome in many of the programs to submit them if the scores are optional.
Halo rekan semuanya, bertemu lagi dengan USAID Teman LPDP. Perkenalkan, saya dengan Yos Sudarso Putra selaku Technical Lead untuk Scholarship Management. Pada hari ini akan membawakan kegiatan podcast kita hari ini yang akan mengambil topik tentang inside the Ivy League admission process, how to get selected by Columbia University. Pada hari ini kita kedatangan tamu yang spesial dari Columbia University. We have Gorveatte, admissions counselor, and also we have our guest from our partners, Ibu Rina Meiyanti. Before we proceed, we would like to give Joel please introduce yourself just one to sentence.
Yes, it is my first time in Indonesia, and my colleague Shane and I are so glad to be here for some graduate school fairs and meetings. We really appreciate our Indonesian students at Columbia University, and so I'm glad to be here.
Thank you very much, Yo. And then Rina.
Hi, my name is Rina Meiyanti. I'm a staff. I'm an education consultant, so I'm glad to be here with Joel to give you more insight about Columbia University and what the Indonesian student could get from the Columbia and what Columbia could share to Indonesian students. So it's really glad to be here.
Thank you very much. So I will have some questions and so topics that we can discuss. The first one I would like to ask Joel, in terms of the school, the Columbia School of Professional Studies. Can you provide an overview of the Columbia School of Professional Studies and its mission?
Yeah, well, we're so honored to represent Columbia University as the Ivy League University in New York City, and a school with great history going all the way back to 1754. We are older than the United States itself, before the U.S. was even a country. And Columbia today is a large and still growing university in what we, no offense to Jakarta, as beautiful as it is, New Yorkers always think New York City is the most wonderful city in the world. They're very humble about that in New York, right? And but we are separated into specific colleges within the university. And so we have 3 different undergraduate schools at Columbia. And we have, in addition to some affiliate schools there in New York, we have specifically 13 graduate schools. And schools like the Columbia Business School, the medical school, the Teachers College, the School of Social Work, the School of International Studies, Political Affairs. And so the School of Professional Studies is one of those 13 graduate schools at Columbia. And at SPS, we offer 18 master's degrees. And then we also have visiting and post-baccalaureate programs where students can come and take specific classes. And then we also have something kind of interesting where we house Columbia's pre-college program for high school students who come and study and hopefully use that as a way to prepare for their college education. But I believe we're here to speak specifically about master's degrees.
Yes.
And so we do have 18 master's degrees that are all connected in some way to leadership, to management, to business, to technology in various arenas.
Okay. Thank you. So in terms of the programs and majors, what are some of the most popular majors and program at Columbia SPS?
Yeah, our two largest master's degrees that we offer at SPS in terms of student population are the Master of Science in Enterprise Risk Management.
Okay.
And the other is a Master of Science in Applied Analytics. And so both of them are in the growing fields of analytics and quantitative studies. And especially in the world of business and finance, everybody wants to make sure that they're making good strategic decisions that are based on the numbers, not just on the heart. And so those are our two largest programs. One of our fastest growing programs this year is our Sustainability Management Master of Science. Obviously, sustainability, all of those areas of study are growing around the world as we're looking at ways to make sure that we're making responsible decisions for the planet in business and the economy and government. And so those would be a few that I would highlight, but we have a number. We have nonprofit management, a Master of Science in Technology Management, Information and Knowledge Systems. We have bioethics. We have narrative medicine. We have strategic communication. We have negotiation and conflict resolution. I think we need a little more of that in the world today. Conflict resolution.
Yes.
We have a Master of Science at Columbia University SPS. And so those are just a few of the 18.
What about AI? I mean, so far we know that AI is very, very kind of trending now.
And AI is definitely a growing part of our curriculum in many of those programs. Obviously, areas like information and knowledge strategy and tech management and risk management, all of these areas have to be aware of the growing opportunities and threats of artificial intelligence.
Okay, so now we are moving to the admission process. So can you walk us through the typical admissions process at Columbia SPS?
Well, the first thing we tell everybody to do is spend a lot of time on the website.
Okay.
Many times people reach out to us and they email us asking questions that we know by the questions that they're asking that they have emailed us before they've done their own research. And so the first thing I would recommend that anybody do is whatever university and whatever program that you are interested in applying to make sure that you do a lot of research on the website. And then once you have done that research about the program, the curriculum, the faculty, and the application process on the website, then you can reach out directly to an admissions counselor and ask even further questions. And one of the things at Columbia SPS that we do, it's one of the most valuable ways to meet some of the leadership of each program and to learn more about how to put together a successful application, is we host monthly information sessions on Zoom live. Can be a little challenging sometimes with the time zone, right? But many times we work those out because many of our applicants are from Asian countries, and so for example, our programs like Applied Analytics and Enterprise Risk Management, the two largest programs, do have a lot of people who come from this side of the world in those programs, and so we try to schedule those in a time zone, a time frame that works even for this part of the world. But we have those information sessions on a monthly basis live on Zoom where you get to meet the academic program director, some of the faculty, sometimes an interview with some of the current students or alumni, and an admissions counselor. And we talk through the program, we talk through the application process, we get you some inside tips and secrets. And then we have live question and answer. And we find that so often people who have not put together a strong application, is because they haven't done their homework. They haven't researched on the website. They haven't attended an information session. They haven't maybe communicated and met with an admissions counselor who can help them prepare and make sure they know what they're getting into and how to put their best foot forward in a strong application.
Oke. Jadi rekan-rekan, kalau nanti mau ngelamar ke sana jangan lupa ya, pelajari dulu website dan baca dulu secara detail. Karena kalau itu tidak kita lakukan, maka nanti yang terjadi adalah mengulang informasi dan memang pihak universitas tidak mengingat itu. Jadi make sure you read the website first carefully. Dan my next question is about this is actually very many students come to us asking about the GRE. Is there a possibility to waive the GRE in Columbia SPS?
That is a great question. And what we find is that many programs, not just at our school, but a lot of schools in the U.S., have made the GRE or the GMAT more of an optional test.
Okay.
And so I believe in this coming year, we only have one or possibly two of our master's degrees at Columbia SPS that still require some type of test.
I see.
And we have a handful. I can't remember the exact number, but you have like the MCAT with some of the medical related programs like bioethics. But most of our programs now make the GRE or the GMAT optional. And so one of the questions that people often ask is, well, when you say it's optional, is that a trick?
Yeah.
Right? If they say it's optional and I don't present a GRE score, is the program going to hold that against me in my application? And I can't speak for every school, but at Columbia SPS, I can say very specifically, it's not a trick.
Okay, that's good.
That when we say it's optional, it means optional. And so people say, well, if it's optional, then why would I want to present a GRE score or a GMAT? And the answer to that is maybe somebody already took one of those tests and they have really impressive scores. And so they want to impress us with how well they did on the test, because it is impressive. Those are difficult tests. And it does say a lot. And so if somebody maybe already has a GRE score or a GMAT score, they are welcome in many of the programs to submit them if the scores are optional. And another reason is maybe someone did not do as well in their bachelor's degree as they wish they had done.
Yeah.
Maybe they went through some personal problems, or maybe they were just young and immature and didn't pay attention to their studies the way that they should have. And they know in order to apply to one of the top schools that they need to have a strong grade point average. And so sometimes, or maybe even a program requires professional experience. Some master's degrees require that you have professional experience before you apply to the program. And so maybe someone's professional experience is not as strong as they would like for it to be, or maybe their undergraduate GPA is not as strong as they would like for it to be in their application. And so submitting strong GRE or GMAT scores can be possibly a way to strengthen your application, but it's not necessary.
Okay. So are you saying that if the student do not submit the GRE, they still have a chance to pass the university?
Absolutely. If we say it's optional, it means it is optional.
Okay, it's good. Okay, please.
Add a little bit about the optional thing. We as ISTEP as an education consultant, if the university say it's optional, we always urge the student to get the GRE because it can help them. But as you say, if it is very good, if it is really support your application, but we always urge the students to have the GRE to support their application, even though it is an optional. But they need to make sure that their GRE is also a good, have a good score that really can support their application. So even though it's optional, we always have the student to consider to have that as part of the application. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you took the test
Yes.
and your score is not strong and it's optional, don't show us.
Don't show us. Yeah. Yeah. We always say that you need to have a very good score, even though we urge them to get the GRE, but it has to be a very good score. If not, don't show it. Don't put it in the application. Yeah, because it can make you like bad here for your application because the score is bad. Yeah.
So the score is already there. The university, the admission will still look at the score. Nice.
It can support them if the good is very score. If the score is very good.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Okay. Would like go to the next question. This is about the application tips. So, Joel, what advice would you give to prospective students to make their applications stand out?
I think one of the most important things is to understand that some of these programs are getting thousands of applications. And take your time to make sure that you have done your research, just like we said about the website and the information sessions and learning about the coursework of the program you're applying to, the faculty members. I always like to say a strong application is a specific application, and a weak application is very generalized. I see. And so a strong application in its specificity will tell us why you have done your homework and you know why this particular master's degree at this particular school is the right program for you.
Yes.
And communicate to us, convince us why you are the right fit for the program and why this program is the right fit for you. Show us that you've done your homework and how this master's degree program will help you accomplish your goals for your career. So that you know why you want this degree, why it's the right fit for you, and what you hope to do with this degree in the future. That is specific and clear. A general application is, well, I'm applying to a lot of schools. I don't really know much about this particular field of study, but it looks like it's interesting, so I thought I might give it a try. And so I think when it comes to your statement of purpose, you're generally going to have to write 1 or 2 or maybe 3 essays in your application to keep that in mind. That is your opportunity to clearly communicate why this is the right program for you.
I see. So it has to be very specific as possible and avoid the general statement.
And make sure that if you're applying to Columbia University School of Professional Studies, that you don't make a mistake and write the wrong name of the wrong school. We see that.
What application?
Right, exactly. And unfortunately, sometimes that will even happen in letters of recommendation.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
By accident, where and you feel bad for the student who is applying, because sometimes in the letter of recommendation they did not clearly communicate with perhaps the person who was writing the letter of recommendation, and the letter of recommendation was either too general and not specifically applying to the program that they would like to be admitted to, or even sometimes a letter of recommendation will even write the wrong school or the wrong master's degree program that they're applying to, and that is not a good thing.
Yes. Well, that's a very good information. Thank you, you know, I would like to go to Rina. So, Rina, what financial aid options are available to students, and how can they apply for them?
Okay, so basically for master degree program, Colombia, fortunately, like for everyone in Indonesia, Colombia is all subject and listed in LPDP and BPI and also BIB. So actually, Colombia is in all scholarship program that's offered by the government, so students can apply the scholarship to get to fund their study in Colombia, and it's all subject, so they can apply to any program that they want in Colombia, including in the School of Professional Studies. So that's the scholarship from government like LPDP, BPI, and BIB is their source of funding, so they can apply for the scholarship. They can apply it after they get LOA from Colombia, or they can apply it before they can apply to Colombia. So they apply the scholarship first and then get the scholarship and then apply to Colombia. Or they can apply to Colombia first, get the LOA, and then apply for the scholarship. So that's usually the path that they can choose to get the scholarship. So I mean, I want to highlight what Jules mentioned about the letter of recommendation and also statement of purpose. When you apply for scholarship, you also need to have that, letter of recommendation, also statement of purpose. So what Joe said is very correct, very true. Some Indonesian students that we're working with, they often put like a general statement. They don't do the research. So they only mention, I want to go to Colombia because it is the best university for this kind of program. So it's a very general. I mean, like, Colombia is the best, because it's Ivy League. But you need to go deeper from that. It's not only like the best, but you need to know what courses in that program that really interest you, that trigger you to want to study to Colombia. So it needs to be very specific. Even though it is for scholarship, but the scholarship committee is also want to know why you want to study in these universities. So make sure when you apply to the scholarship like LPDP, BPI, or BIB, you need to research the university first. Like what is your goals, why you want to study in that university, why you want to study in Colombia. You cannot mention only like because I want to go to New York, because New York is like the best city, or Colombia is Ivy League. But you need to really make sure the reason, like the specific reason, because the committee will ask that during the interview, and they really want to know your future goals and everything after you graduate from Colombia. So what Joe mentioned is not only apply for you when you apply to the university, but also when you apply for the scholarship. So the tips is also applicable for the scholarship, application. Letter of recommendation, you need to make sure to ask the referee, but provide them with the information that you want to study in Colombia with this master, with this program. So the recommendee, like the referee, they will understand how to write the recommendation. So they won't make mistake like the general one, like you mentioned. So it can support your application also if you have that. So I guess that's all my tips for students who wants to get the scholarship and who wants to apply for Colombia.
Yes, thank you very much, Rina. Just
Sure.
like to clarify, you mentioned about LPDP, BPI, and BIB. Maybe would you like to explain more a little bit about the BPI comes from which ministry?
Oh, okay, yeah. So LPDP is like the general scholarship that we have today, but currently the ministry have Ministry of Education, they have scholarship called BPI, Beasiswa Pendidikan Indonesia. The BPI also for S2 master's program and also S3 PhD program. So the BPI is from the Ministry of Education, whereas BIB, Beasiswa Indonesia Bangkit, is from the Ministry of Religious Affairs or Kementerian Agama. So for students who graduated from university under the Ministry of Education, they can apply to BPI. But for students who are graduated from the institutions under the Ministry of Religious Affairs, they can apply for BIB. So this separate scholarship, I think, will have will provide the students better chance to get scholarship. So they not only can apply for LPDP, which is the general scholarship, they can also apply for like specific scholarship provided by the ministry, like Ministry of Education or Ministry of Religious Affairs. Ya.
Thank you. Jadi itu ya rekan-rekan ya, ada tiga peluang beasiswa di Indonesia. Jadi yang pertama yang paling besar memang LPDP sudah jelas, terus ada dari Kementerian Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan dengan beasiswa pendidikan Indonesia-nya, dan yang ketiga ada Kementerian Agama dengan beasiswa Indonesia Bangkit. Jadi tidak ada alasan lagi bagi rekan-rekan untuk tidak studi lanjut ke luar negeri, terutama ke Amerika. Ya. Baik, next I would like to go to the next question back to you. What types of support services are available to students once they are admitted?
Yeah, that's a great thing to keep in mind, because families here in Indonesia are obviously very concerned that their students are going to be well when they come to the big city. And so we have an amazing student affairs department and so many different support systems for our international students. And so we try to help secure housing in the beginning. There are some on-campus housing options. A lot of our students end up getting their own apartments in the area or sharing with a few other students, and there are some great international student options there. And as they go through the enrollment process, they begin to connect with other students and are exposed to, just at SPS alone, we have close to 50 different student clubs and organizations that they can be involved in. Many of the programs have their own clubs as well within that particular master's degree program. Like, for example, the Enterprise Risk Management Program actually has an ERM club, and they participate in competitions. These things look great on your resume many times for a job when you've demonstrated leadership on campus or in your master's degree program. And we have everything from mental health services when students are struggling and they need mental health support.
Homesickness.
Exactly. And even, guidance when it comes to their finances. And, our goal as a whole is to make sure that students don't just survive.
Okay, let's go to the next question. This is about the future outlook and innovation. So how is Columbia SPS adapting to changes in higher education and the job market?
Yeah, well, adaptation to change, obviously, it is something that everybody has learned, especially since COVID. That you never know what the future holds, and you have to be ready to pivot and be creative and innovative. And so, we were able to do that when it comes to our teaching modalities and doing things online and our support services online. And so I think many of the things that we do today are much more flexible because of technological innovation than they were, 5 or 10 years ago. And so all of our programs are looking at ways to make sure that they're teaching at the leading edge of whatever industry our students are going into. But also, I think you mentioned about career. And our success is our students' success. And so we want to do everything we can to make sure that we're setting our students up for future success after they graduate. And so at Columbia, each of the different schools have their own career services department. At School of Professional Studies, we call ours the Career Design Lab. And instead of having it on our historic, beautiful campus, which is just an oasis in the middle of the urban landscape of Manhattan, but we moved it even further into the center of the business district and have our career design lab right in Times Square and right across from some of the top financial institutions in the world. And so our career design lab has coaches who help students prepare their resumes, who prepare them for success in job interviews. So whether, some of our students come and they hope to get jobs in the United States, obviously Indonesian students who are on scholarship from the Indonesian government are planning on coming back to Indonesia, and we want to make sure that they are prepared to get the best job possible. And so we coach them not only on their resume and interview skills, we have networking fairs where they'll build relationships with employers around the world, and we provide thousands of dollars worth of online resources and tools that they can use, even some new AI tools that they can use that are premium subscriptions. And so each program has its own career coach who works specifically with the students in that program to help them prepare to get a job in that industry.
So this service, is it free or paid?
It's all part of your tuition or the scholarship that pays for your tuition. And all of the things that we mentioned with student affairs and career design, the career design lab, all of those services are part of what you receive. And even as an alum, once you have graduated, that career design lab for alumni who graduated years ago, they will still come back and they receive all of the services of the Career Design Lab to continue to help them succeed in their career. And so there are a few things, like when I mentioned going to a Yankees game, or, there are some expenses that students might choose to do their little extra, but the tuition covers most of those things.
Nah, itu kan menarik ya. Jadi di Columbia SPS juga itu menyediakan pusat persiapan untuk karir. Jadi sebelum rekan-rekan kembali ke Indonesia dipersiapkan dulu, dan itu semuanya secara gratis gitu ya. Jadi jangan sampai tidak memanfaatkan hal ini ya, itu sangat-sangat menarik. Okay, thank you. Now I would like to go to the next question about alumni and networking. So how does Columbia SPS foster a sense of community among its students?
Yeah, you mentioned alumni. That happens both as a student and after you graduate. Each of the programs, when you are in a particular master's degree program, they are building relationships and networks and helping you succeed. They want to help you succeed from within the program itself. But then we also provide all the extra that the Student Affairs Department as a whole provides. And once someone graduates, they become part of that lifelong Columbia University SPS family for life. And in fact, that's one of the things that we are here in Jakarta doing, is we're here to visit with great supporters of education like eStep. We're here for some graduate school fairs in Indonesia for people who are coming to explore, coming to study in the United States. But we are also here providing a reception where tonight we have reserved a wonderful space at one of the top hotels in the city, where we are bringing in all of the alumni we've invited who live in the area to come and meet with us tonight. And we have some gifts for them. We invite admitted students to come and meet alumni so the alumni can share their experiences and build relationships with incoming students. Once you're part of the family at Columbia SPS, it's for life.
Wow, that's good. That's cool. Okay, I think I know that we still have lots of things to discuss. It's just time limits us. So let's go to the closing statements. Anything that you would like to say to the participants about study in Columbia SPS?
Well, the first thing that I would want everybody to know is that we deeply appreciate our Indonesian students.
Okay.
They do so well. and our programs. I'm not sure exactly what you do here to create people who are so wonderful and so smart, but I think our belief in that, the testimony, the proof that we believe that is the fact that we're here.
Okay.
We can come all this way because we believe in the future of the students here in Indonesia, and we want to do everything we can to let them know that Columbia University SPS believes in them, that we would love for them to consider coming and studying with us.
Thank you very much, Joe. And Rina?
I think I just want to students in Indonesia realize that they have opportunities, like more opportunities right now, because we have so many scholarships like LPDP, BPI, and BIB. I want them to make use that opportunities and to study abroad, like especially in Colombia, for example, because once you study abroad, it's kind of like a life-changing experience. It's not only change your academically, but professionally, but also socially. Like, it's our perspective can be changed into better one. So I really encourage students in Indonesia to make benefits of the opportunities to get scholarship and study abroad in the US especially, and Columbia University especially. So I think that's my closing remarks. I just want to make Indonesian students better and make sure they have benefit from the scholarship. Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
Marina. So I think we already at the final time. So thank you very much, Joe, once again for coming to Indonesia and enjoy your tonight event, and also tomorrow and the day after tomorrow.
Yes, we're going to Surabaya as well. Yes.
And Marina, thank you very much for your
Thank you.
time as well in connecting us
Yes.
teman with Columbia SPS UIC.
Thank you.
Sekian kegiatan podcast kita pada hari ini. Terima kasih kepada rekan-rekan yang sudah menyaksikan kegiatan kita, dan juga thanks to Joel and also Rina. Tunggu kegiatan kami misalnya di podcast berikutnya. Silakan ikutin kegiatan kami misalnya di IG live kami @teman LPDP. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.